I do find some creators over glamorize timeline shifts and they don't talk about the nitty gritty or the dark side of them, of the struggles and everything that you need to go through in order to jump realities. Hey guys, I'm Freya and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about quantum jumping, my quantum jumping experience, and what they don't tell you about quantum jumping. Things first, what exactly is quantum jumping? Quantum jumping refers to rapidly shifting your consciousness, essentially making sudden, fast changes in your life by altering your beliefs, thoughts, and vibrational energy. In other terms, it is referred to timeline shifts or timeline changes. I first stumbled upon quantum jumping back in 2019, and then I started actively doing quantum jumping meditations in 2020. And looking back on it, I can actually see the sudden shifts and changes within these last 5 years. But it wasn't how these creators were making it seem. I do find like a lot of creators over glamorize the situation. I know when I was first looking into it, I was blown away by how I could suddenly shift my reality just by a meditation. It almost seemed too good to be true, which it definitely was the case. I do find some creators over glamorize timeline shifts and they don't talk about the nitty gritty or the dark side of them, of the struggles and everything that you need to go through in order to jump realities. What they don't tell you is you can't jump from here all the way to here. You need to make slow little jumps in order to get here. And in order to make the slow little jumps, you need to make the changes internally to change your external life. Meaning as your thought processes, your behaviors, patterns and stuff, that repetitions that you do in your day-to-day life, you can't operate as your old timeline version in order to jump into your new timeline. You see, the thing with timeline shifts is you have to shift your vibration, and in order to shift your vibration, you need to let go of everything from past timelines. The last long form video on this channel was about 6 months ago, and I was talking about the moon cycles and how a huge timeline shift was happening. And in that time, I did go through a huge timeline shift, and I'm in a different timeline now than I was back then. It's just in a different way than I had imagined. And even right now, I'm currently conscious through these timeline shifts, so I can see that I'm right here and I'm just about to jump into this timeline. But in order to jump into this next timeline, I need to let go of certain things that are no longer serving me, meaning certain thought patterns and behaviors. I find what they don't tell you about quantum jumping is you go through the ringer. The universe will test you in more ways than one, and it may seem like your world is falling apart, but in order for things to fall together, your world needs to fall apart. Your world needs to crumble, because that's the old timeline, which is way different than the new timeline. So it may seem like your world is literally crashing. You may lose friendships, you may lose jobs, you may lose a place where you're living. Tragic things might happen because sometimes the universe gives us signs, but we're consciously not ready to act on those signs. So it needs to shake up our lives in order to do what we need to do. And for me, as I started with these timeline shifts from 2020 to now, I can see how my higher self was guiding me. Because the thing is our most desired reality, the reason why we want it so bad is because it's already ours in a different timeline. We just need to shift ourselves in order to get to that timeline. So when I started in 2020, I can notice how sudden shifts started. I started to do certain things differently. I started to work towards things differently. I started to get little nudges. And the thing is to act upon those little nudges. Because if you don't act upon those little nudges and you keep vibrating or you keep doing things the same as your old timeline, the quantum jumping isn't going to work. No matter how many meditations you do, the quantum jumping meditations aren't going to work for you if you're not going to do the work. And I think that's one thing that I wish a lot of creators explained, because when I first started watching it, I was completely blown away by it. I started trying to quantum jump from like huge life change things in my life until my guides told me like, hey, you can't do that. You have to make slow little steps in order to get here. I've been tested through trials and tribulations over and over and over again, And I can finally feel that I'm on literally the brick of jumping from this timeline to another timeline. But I'm being put through the ringer. The universe is testing me in a lot of ways to see if I'm going to have the same thought patterns or behaviors as I once did. It creates a lot of thick skin in order to do this. This isn't a quick fix, so where you can just do a meditation and your life changes just like that. You need to put in the action, you need to put in the work, whether that's internally to change your external life or making the changes in your external life to get you to the most desired timeline. This isn't as glamorized or as magical and whimsical as some creators make it out to be. It is real, and it's a real thing, and me being conscious through a lot of my timeline shifts with over the last 5 years, I have dealt with a lot of darkness. But that's the thing, is you can't have all this abundance and prosperity and lightness without darkness. You need to go through that. You need to do the inner work and work through the tests and the lessons that the universe is trying to show you and guide you. Trying not to get stuck in meditations, because I think about it in the chakras that we have, and I find when I was doing a lot of the meditations for quantum jumping and everything, I was using my third eye and my crown chakra, and that created an imbalance. And I think that's where spiritual psychosis comes into play, because these top chakras are being so used, but your bottom chakras are not. So you need to make sure that your root chakra, your sacral, and your solar plexus chakra are balanced and you're grounded in this reality so you can fully jump into the next timeline. This will be one of many videos that I will be explaining about this as I continue on with my journey. If you guys have any questions or anything that you want to add about quantum jumping, feel free to post down in the comments. If you like my content or you want to learn more about spirituality, healing, or witchcraft, don't forget to subscribe. Take care.